Hi, I'm Freya from Expecting. If your waters break, people always presume that means they're in labour, but actually that's not necessarily the case. Your waters could break before labour even starts, or your waters may never break. Although it's quite rare, I have seen a number of babies actually born in the sac of membranes, so then waters never actually broke, or they may break anywhere in between. Now, if you imagine that a baby is like in a balloon of water, and if your waters break down here, then at the opening of the balloon, that's when you're going to get your big kind of soap opera gush. You dread where you are, and it looks like you've wet yourself. There's no doubt about it, your waters have clearly broken. The water will be warm because it's been inside you, and it should be clear or straw-like in colour. Now, it's actually the baby that produces the water, so they're going to keep producing water until they're born. So if this is the very first thing that happens to you in terms of labour or before labour, you're going to need a load of those big, fat, unattractive sanitary pads, and you'll go through quite a lot of them and soak them. It could, however, be that your waters don't break down here, but they actually break somewhere higher up. And if this is the case, your baby's head will act like an ill-fitting plug. So every time you move or the baby moves, you get another trickle. And then you kind of think, wasn't it my waters? Because it's quite common that babies actually nudge you in the bladder. So if you're unsure, put a pad on, have a little rest, and then maybe a bit of a walk around. And if after an hour your pad's dry, it wasn't your waters. But if it is quite wet, then it probably was. Now, if your waters break somewhere higher up, you are still likely to get that big gush at some point later on. The waters actually act like a protective seal. The bag of membranes is like a protective seal for the baby. So if you think your waters have broken, it's really important that you let the hospital that you've been booked at know. Even if you're planning a home birth, you should let them know. At some point they will want to get you in to induce you if labour doesn't start naturally, because the baby's at risk of infection once there's a hole in that membrane. Also, if the colour of the water changes from clear or straw-like, again, that's another reason to let the hospital know, or if you have any other concerns. If you'd like more information about labour and birth, check out expectingclasses.co.uk.